All right, everyone. Well, welcome to Dreamforce once again. I hope everyone has had a great show so far. And thank you for coming to the first Accessibility Discussion Forum, brought to you by the Accessibility team at Salesforce and Abilityforce. So I'll start out today with our forward-looking statement. Please make all of your purchasing decisions based on products and services that are currently available. I'm your host today, Adam Rodenbeck. I'm an accessibility specialist here at Salesforce, and I'm joined by several awesome colleagues. I'll start out with you, Sunday Parker.
Hi, thank you all for being here. My name is Sunday Parker. I am on the Pardot technical support team, but today I'm here in a different capacity, and that is as the Vice President of Abilityforce. So Abilityforce is, as we like to call them, Ohana groups, but they're more widely known as employee resource groups for people with disabilities, as well as our allies here at Salesforce. So we focus on ensuring that both our products as well as our workplaces are accessible to everyone. And we partner with our UX accessibility team to make that a reality. So thank you all for being part of this discussion.
Awesome, thank you. We also have Jesse Hausler.
Hello, I'm Jesse Hausler. I am the Principal Accessibility Specialist here at Salesforce. I'm technically the technical accessibility leader here, and I've been at Salesforce working in accessibility for going on 7 years.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And we also have Rick Boardman, who is the Director of UX Accessibility.
Hi, my name's Rick Boardman. I manage the team. I'm the Senior Director, which sounds very grand, but basically I just do the spreadsheets, and Adam, Jesse, and the rest of the team do all the hard work. It's great to see so many of you here today. And just, Adam, we've probably got about 40 people here, so it's a really good turnout. Back to you, Adam.
Great. So first, what is accessibility? To us, accessibility is ensuring that all people are able to perceive, understand, navigate, interact with, and contribute to applications of any kind. And in our case, it's web applications for the most part, but also mobile. And we have several goals on our team that helps us to accomplish these accessibility things. We want to deliver the most trusted, accessible experience in the industry. We also want to leave no user behind and make sure that we provide the most quality experience to everyone, regardless of their ability. And we are also looking to help people with disabilities to enter the workforce. As everyone knows, there's a huge gap in unemployment for those with disabilities, roughly double that of anyone else. And so at Salesforce, we're really trying to make a difference in that by designing software that everyone can use.
Would you like to talk through the discussion intro?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Hi, so why are we here today? So this is our first discussion forum, like Adam said, and we really want to open it up to you. We don't just want to be doing a presentation on stage. We actually want to hear about your experiences and questions regarding any aspect of Salesforce accessibility. So whatever your role, whether you're an end user, admin, developer, whatever assistive technology you may use, or maybe you don't use assistive technology, but you're just interested, or you develop tools for people who do use assistive technologies. We're interested in hearing about what products you use, what works and what doesn't work. We hope that most things work, but we know we can improve like everybody else. So we're really interested in hearing your thoughts about that. And also, as well as our products, we're interested in how it's been going at Dreamforce. We've tried to make Dreamforce an accessible experience, and we'd like to hear how that's been going. Thank you. So I'm going to hand back to Adam.
Great. So do we have anybody who is interested in sharing their experiences? And we do have a microphone that's going around.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Hanish. I'm a Salesforce developer. So my question for today is, as a developer, it's great to be here because I'm trying to understand that we have to build accessibility into products. So how, I don't see that information of accessibility, or how, I don't see a forum where I can actually reach out to users, where I can see requests of what is the difficulty they're facing, or how we can make the experience better. So my question in specific would be, as a developer, how can I make the experience for the accessible group better?
It's a good question, and I think really to answer the first part of it, we're interested in the same thing. We want to know what the users would like, what is working and what isn't, and the Trailblazer community is really a great place to come together with customers, and we are hoping to create a community where more customers can share their stories.
So I've put the slide up for us. We were going to save this to the end, but you've preempted us.
You did a great intro to it.
So to intro the community?
Not only today, but we want to keep this discussion going, and to that end, we did create a community and the Trailblazer, formerly Success. And there's a shortened URL which can get you straight to the community, and that is bit.ly/disability-topics. And our hope then is to create a space where people can talk about all sorts of things that are related to disabilities, whether that's in the product or elsewhere.
Yeah, and also to answer your question, there was a talk on Monday that Jesse and myself did with some introductory material on accessibility in Salesforce with some best practices. If you missed it, we can share the slides with you. Just come and grab us after the session. So any more questions or experiences from anybody, please raise your hand, and then Mary here will bring the mic over to you.
I have a comment. My name is Debbie. I just want to say a big kudos to your team, because just from Dreamforce 15 to now, it's become so much more accessible. So thanks a lot, from at least from a mobility standpoint perspective.
And I do have to say, thanks for saying that, Debbie. And I want to thank Debbie, who has started me down kind of this road of thinking about providing a forum. And she's the one who created the Admins with Disabilities group that already exists in the Trailblazer community. So thank you.
Any more questions? Or do I need to pick on people in the audience? Oh, we have one over here on the right-hand side.
Hi, so I will be an end user eventually. I'm part of building our Salesforce, building us up at Boston Scientific, and we have a user who is blind, and we did some initial testing with him to see how he uses a system called JAWS.
Okay.
Is his screen reader that he uses for everything else he does. And so we've started testing what we're building against JAWS to see what it's able to cope with. And the biggest challenge that we're encountering is having to tab through everything. It's a very, very slow process. And the hotkeys aren't working well. And I'm wondering if there's anything in the future that's going to help us work with him and make the experience more efficient for him, because it's very, very slow right now.
So did I understand you to say that you're building an interface, or this is just from the Salesforce user interface?
So I'm sorry, I'm such a newbie. I have trouble describing even what we're doing. But we're just getting started with Salesforce, and we're creating a service center with cases and records and all of that. So it's, yeah.
So are you using the Service Cloud? Great, okay. Well, there's somebody I want you to meet right after the session. We actually have our lead accessibility specialist, Cordelia, who's right over here. 3 people to your left. And we've been really making that the focus of our team's work, improving the service experience within the call center. So we'd love to talk to you and find out how it's been going. And set up time with Cordelia. If for whatever reason you can't get in contact with us after the conference, make sure you sign up for the community as well, because we'd love to connect. And actually, this is for everybody here in the audience. Something we do want to do is do more research sessions, actually come out and visit our customers who are using assistive technologies. So please reach out if you'd be interested in hosting us and showing us at first hand how it's been going.
Mary, could you...
Rick, I'm curious to know how many other folks are using the Service Cloud with users with low vision who are blind. Is there anybody else in the group who's using Service Cloud? Call center? You're alone in all this. Talk to Cordelia. She's got your back.
Mary Cordelia was asking.
Thank you, Mary. Actually, Cordelia would like to say something as well.
Hi, I'm Cordelia. I have two things to share. One is we do have a custom set of keyboard shortcuts, which if you haven't discovered them are in the question mark, I think, in the upper right corner. But we also, and Adam, I'd like to know, in our Trailhead community, or Trailblazer community, did we post our tips for using Salesforce with JAWS? So I know we have a great document that just has a few little quick tips for if you're using JAWS, some things to keep in mind to navigate more efficiently. That would be a great thing to share in disability topics if it isn't already.
I know that it is shared in the Admins with Disabilities community, so if it is not yet in disability topics, I'll fix that as soon as this is over.
Yeah, it's in actually help and training, so we can put a link there.
We will share a link on the community right thereafter.
There's another thing that I would add too, that, and I don't know your exact scenario, but oftentimes I think that people rely on tabbing to get from place to place with a screen reader more than what they need to. And so there are lots of different ways of navigating the pages using various things, whether it be headings or landmarks or even the search box to jump around and make things easier. So while we really want to improve the experience and get the feedback from you, sometimes I think that familiarity with the tools that we use can help with navigating.
You know, I had a question.
We have a question on the stage.
I have a question on the stage. Yeah, exactly. So for people who either administer for users with disabilities or for users with disabilities who use Salesforce, how many people are using Classic? Okay, about 4 hands. How many are using Lightning? About a few more hands than that. Of the people on Lightning, if you came from Classic, I'm curious to hear your experiences with that transition. And the reason I ask is because when we started Lightning, the goal from day one was to make that a singular, universally accessible version of Salesforce. A lot of what we're really trying to do is find out how we're doing, from users.
Does anyone want to share their move to Lightning story? I saw some hands over here. No? Yes? You? No. Anyone? Why is it that people don't want to talk in front of a whole
just after
huge
lunch.
group of other people? Why is that?
It's just
Well, I
after
think
lunch.
though, one of the things with the community is that things like that, transitioning from Classic to Lightning, it is quite a difference in the way that the user experience works. So what I really want to see is for us to be able to get together and talk about what did happen and how it worked for you and how the things that you have found to make it simpler. So by sharing with one another, I think that we can improve everyone's experience. So even if you don't feel comfortable today, I really hope that you'll join us in the community.
And Adam, I'm putting you on the spot here, but could you talk about your own experiences can you remember back to when you switched from Classic to Lightning? How did it go?
I was a Salesforce developer before working at Salesforce, so I grew up using Classic. So when Lightning came out, it really was a big transition for me. It was one thing I really noticed there was a difference is that in Lightning we built accessible tables. So for those of us who use screen readers, every table I've ever seen is something that you navigate by using the built-in screen reader commands. Whereas in Lightning, we've now built that to work for people who use a keyboard that maybe don't use a screen reader. Now they're able to navigate around in the table by column and row to get to exactly what they need. And so that was a transition for me to discover that was something that existed because it wasn't something that I was familiar with.
Thank you, Adam. Any more questions at all? Actually, so here's another question just for the audience. Are there any other products that people are using? So we've talked about Service Cloud. Are there any other products that people have tried out? And we do want to hear about what isn't working as well. So we're very interested if anybody wants particular improvements. We want to hear about them. So this is your chance. you've got the accessibility team here on stage to tell us where you want to see the products going. What do you want to see improved?
Okay, it's not directly an answer to your question, but we've not tested communities with screen readers yet. Majority of our clients use JAWS. We did find that the way that JAWS handles the Lightning pages is funky. So are there any hints as we look at communities, templates that might be better, or anything else that's going to make that easier?
Was that it acts strange with Lightning, the user interface, or in communities specifically?
That was the user interface in the regular Salesforce Sales Cloud. Every time they change fields, they've got to turn forms mode off and on in JAWS if they want to enter data.
Yeah.
Jesse, do you want to take this one?
I can't speak. So this is my fault, in a sense. And so right now, it's specifically pick lists that I think you're referring to. So in Classic, all of our pick lists were a standard HTML select. And when we moved to Lightning, they created them using essentially an ARIA designed menu. Right. When you have a button with ARIA has pop-up equals true as an attribute, for some reason it puts JAWS in the wrong mode. Now we found that JAWS doesn't do as well as NVDA does with these.
If you don't know, NVDA is another popular screen reader.
Yes,
the blind people use.
Desktop access. So that's the reason for that, is whenever you enter into a pick list, and there's also the issue you don't hear the current value, and we are aware of that. We know about that. The good news is that we have a new Lightning component that uses a list box and not a menu for these pick lists, and those work better, and we're pushing to get that in the product as well.
Okay.
Does that help answer?
It does if you get it in the product before
If we can get it
go
in the
live.
product. That's true.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you, Jesse. So I think we have time for one more quick question, if there is one in the audience.
So just to carry on from what the lady over there was saying, we did some work in the front end of a community portal, and we're able to get a lot of accessibility features built through Bootstrap and a lot of custom components. So if that helps.
Oh, right. You were asking about communities initially. We have had a lot of testing on the Napili templates done by third-party sources, and we're confident with the level of accessibility in the Napili template. So if you're having trouble with it, let us know. Through the community, or directly, you can contact us. You haven't started yet, okay? And now I'll let you wrap up. We have a minute.
Sure. I want to reiterate about the community. So if please join us there. We definitely want to hear this is feedback that we need to improve the product, and I really want to continue just the discussion here where we can share with one another what did and didn't work. I also want to remind everybody that we have a booth here. I believe it is to my left?
To your left.
So to your right. So that is here in Camp Design. Definitely stop by, talk to us, give us any feedback. We love to hear from the customers. So thank you everybody for coming today, and enjoy the rest of your show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Mary Scott, and I would if anybody is here from Lighthouse for the Blind or Guide Dogs for the Blind, I'd love to chat with you. Sunday Parker is who hooked you up with tickets, and so we just want to meet everybody if you want to hang out just for a little bit. Thanks.